What up? Welcome back, everybody. Today's video was supposed to be for a new recipe, but I've got news. So last week, a blood bus pulled up at the office and was offering free COVID antibodies test with every donation. So I decided, why not? Save a life, find out if I had COVID. Well, guess who had COVID? This guy. It wasn't that I had it right then, it just means that I had it sometime in the past. So what I'm about to say requires a huge disclaimer. Biggest disclaimer ever. Huge, beautiful disclaimer. I am once again not a doctor, or any form of medical expert, nutritional expert, or any expert at anything for that matter. The following content is what I do fitness-wise. It's what I take vitamin and supplement-wise, and what I eat dietary-wise, which you pretty much guessed the latter. And whether or not those things help me have a lighter version of COVID and or unnoticeable seemingly version of COVID cannot be assumed, should not be assumed, and that's not what I'm saying. This content is simply for you to research and do your own personal research and to have a starting point for maybe asking your doctor about some of it, and starting point for your personal research, obviously. And I can't stress it enough, do your own research on every single word I'm about to say. Do your own research, because mine don't count toward yours. So now, without further ado, here is my keto COVID experience. I should start off with the oddest thing about it is I never had a loss of taste, never had a loss of smell, never had a fever, sore throat, or cough. None of the textbook symptoms that would send a man toward the navel swab tent. Did I just say nasal or navel swab? I meant nasal swab. I'm not replacing that because that's just funny. The only reason I think that I know when I had COVID is because a friend of mine tested positive and had the same set of odd symptoms that I did. And those symptoms consisted of burning in the nose or sinuses, the same feeling you get if you jump into a pool without holding your nose. I had random bad headaches in different parts of my head. I don't know if those were COVID symptoms or just being awake symptoms. I get headaches sometimes no matter what. And there were a few days when I had random bouts of upset tummies. Both, you know what upset tummies means. It can mean anything, and it means that stuff. And for about a week, I was moody and out of it at work. Like I was hungover and just didn't like anyone. I attributed that toward being off work for 10 days prior and being on vacation and just not being in the mood to work. But looking back, it could have been something else. And the closest thing to an actual big name COVID symptom I had was I did wake up most mornings for a week or two and could not smell. But if I went in the bathroom, blew my nose, I could smell the coffee, I could smell again. It all returned after a good nose blowing. And all of it happened between 15 December and the New Year, thereabouts. You know, over Christmas, the time when you really want to have a deadly pandemic virus coursing through your veins. And maybe I was in denial, but I didn't have any of the textbook symptoms, so I didn't get tested. And to my defense, like I just said, I didn't have any of the textbook symptoms. No loss of smell, no loss of taste, no fever, no sore throat, no new cough, nothing. But with that being said, everyone I've talked to that has had a confirmed case of it had the burning nose thing. So if you have that burning nose thing, I would go, that's not my medical advice, but I would say you probably need to go get a test. And they probably need to add that to the big list of COVID symptoms, because if it's 100% across the board, that was the most noticeable thing I had, but it wasn't on the list. So I was like, probably just sinuses or something. And of course, I'm very fortunate too. I've had a very light dose of COVID, and I'm blessed for that. I do feel that my dietary habits, my fitness habits, and my supplement intake are worth mentioning here, just for, like I said, your own personal research into this. But only as a jumping off point for your personal research. Not the be-all, end-all, this guy said this, so I need to take this. Understand? I'm not a doctor. I obviously eat keto, which is a non-inflammatory diet. And I've read several things over the years that say ketosis and the keto diet do help improve the immune system. Those articles are everywhere for your personal amusement. Go get them. As far as my fitness habits, I could do better. The least amount of fitness I do per week is I go on a couple 3-mile walks. The most amount of fitness I do is I might run a couple 5Ks and go to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a few times. That hasn't been the case during the pandemic as much as I'd like it to, just cause of the threat of the pandemic, obviously. Now onto my daily vitamin and supplemental intake. Here's where I'm going to get very serious about doing your own personal research and consulting a medical professional. I'm simply going to tell you what I take, and you can run down the significance of that vitamin or supplement yourself. Number 1, Zyrtec. Now, I have allergies like the dorky kid from Little Giants that his mom wrapped in foam, so this is a no-brainer why I would need that. I take this regardless of pandemic or not. Number 2 is vitamin D. This is actually prescribed to me from my doctor since about 2013, so I've been going on this a long time. I had bad heart palpitations and some other issues, and it seemed to alleviate a lot of it. Again, ask your doctor about it, but vitamin D, you need it, and if you're deficient in it, you can definitely tell from random medical issues. Number 3 is vitamin B12. Number 4 is vitamin C. Number 5 is zinc. This stuff will upset your belly if you take it without having any food, so be warned there. Don't just pop a zinc and go to work. You better get something to eat. Number 6 is quercetin. Number 7 is green tea extract, or EGC little g. I'm not really sure how to say it, but green tea extract, EGC little g, EGCG. Start your Googling now. My bet is you're going to find a lot of interesting things about those supplements I just mentioned. So, again, do your own research. I'm going to say that a lot in this video, if I haven't already, because I'm not going to get blamed or say I've been told that I'm just giving out fake medical advice. I'm just saying this is what I've researched, come up with on my own accord, my own conclusions, and I want you to do your own research and Google these things and see what you can come up with. Got it? Good. And that is what I do, what I take, and what I eat in order to take a little bit of precautions against this pandemic. And lastly, I'm going to follow it up with do your own research again. Watch this video a few times, make a few notes, and start Googling, asking doctors, asking nurse friends what they think. Just gather your own conclusions, people. And I just hope everyone's staying safe and staying healthy out there. Hopefully, when the vaccines get all the way rolled out, we can get back to somewhat normal life and never speak of COVID again. Until next time, folks, peace.